Isn't it wonderful? This happens to be a very, very special person in my life because she is the master trainer who taught me to be a laughter teacher. It's Lotte Mikelsen, and she's talking to us today about a really important subject. It's about how to apply laughter yoga for healing chronic illness. She's going to get really vulnerable with us and share her own journey. But you know, her journey in laughter is absolutely, it's like that river that Dr. Madan Katari was describing. It goes on some. And she's given so much. It's all about service with Lotte. She's the laughter yoga master trainer in the UK and a laughter yoga ambassador. She's trained more than 1,500 laughter professionals in the UK. She's led thousands of people through corporate workshops. Her experience with running workplace programs comes from over 20 years of working for national and international corporations, mainly in the IT sector. She's got technical sales, marketing environments that the people just go, it's Lotte Mikelsen, laughter, bring her, we want her now. It's my absolute honor and privilege to welcome Lotte Mikelsen, and we do it with the lion laughter.
Oh, thank you, Tove, for that absolutely amazing introduction. I think I wrote it myself. So, thank you so much for being here, all of you. Wow, almost 300 people today, and on day 3. This is going to be a really serious session. So maybe we should just, if you just for 1 minute, just unmute here. Yeah, just unmute for 1 minute and then we'll mute you again. Yeah. So are you ready? Just. Yeah, I think that was enough. No, that was so wonderful, just to start with a little bit of laughter. And I'm going to swap to, you know what, I very rarely use PowerPoint presentations in my my talks because it takes away the connection, but because we're online it's a little bit different, so I thought, all right, let's put something together. So here goes. I'll just share my screen for a moment and go through it. Like I say, it will be a little bit serious, but we'll do a little bit of giggling as well, so bear with me. Here you go. So yeah. So I want to tell you before we start just the background for my talk, what my experience is, and then some of the conditions I've been sharing laughter with, and some of the statistics and numbers which are really dry. But I'll share a little bit of I'll share a few videos as well with you. So I need to speed it up as well because I thought I was going to speak, what, 15 minutes ago now? So I literally got 5 minutes. But I've been in life, there's so many things that happen, and you know, the first experience I had with chronic MS, multiple sclerosis, and she died in 91 from the effects of it, because when you have MS, your immune system is really struggling when you're experiencing stress, and when you live with MS, you go through phases of being more or less stressed constantly and so on, and that impacts how often you have relapses and episodes that really affects your health and well-being. So she caught pneumonia, and that was the reason she died. And of course, 1991 is like, well, that's 30 years ago, and people may not have known as much about it as they do now. And still, there's so much we don't know about MS and other chronic conditions. So my focus is not just on MS, but it's my background with it. So in 2008 was the moment when I had my first episode where I was seeing double, and I knew instantly this was the beginning of what my sister had. And I knew even when I was looking at the scans, when I had the MRI scan with and I was in with the consultant, I knew when I saw the pictures, this is not good news, this is MS. And yeah, so that was a tough moment. And this is what, 15 years ago, 13 years ago. Woo! And I grieved for a couple of weeks. And then I thought, I need to change the stress in my life. So looking at what caused me stress in my life, and then started making the changes. And I looked around the world what people were doing to introduce a daily laughter practice. And of course, I couldn't go on the beach like Jeffrey Breyer did every day. But what I could do was look at the telephone laughter that was running around the world in the US and in Australia, 2 places in the world. And I spoke with Australia, and they guided me through what was important to do. And I started the Telephone Laughter Club. We've been laughing every day ever since. Well, every day is not completely true because we don't laugh on weekends. But we laugh Monday to Friday at 7 o'clock for 10 minutes. And then we move on. And everyone here knows the value of this laughter practice because we all do it in some way or another. Like telephone laughter at 7 o'clock in the morning is not for everybody, but if you feel you can't get up, just do it anyway. Do it when you wake up in the morning because you bring it through to the day. And that's really what's about, that you start the day with the laughter so you can more easily cope with what you're facing. As we all know that laughter practices really help us do that. So that was the first episode I had, seeing double. Woo. And the next was in 17, a lot of stressful moments, both personally and professionally. They were, I was laughing when Madan was talking about this ego thing and so on. And, you know, there was a lot of stuff going on in the UK with egos being huge and all sorts of things. Let me not dwell on that. But I found that at that time, the community really came together in the UK in supporting ways and so on. And just like over the past 2 years, we've experienced the community worldwide has come together big time and just supported each other in everything. You know, I've heard stories of what people have been doing for each other, and it's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It shows that we're resourceful and resilient, and it works best when we're together in this. And it's, you know, about leading our own lives, but also about leading others to see opportunities, but also listening. Listening is key, just like Madan was saying. So enough about the background. My journey with laughter yoga started way before I had that episode. It started in 2000 on the 9th of January, and I'm somewhere in that crowd in the background picture there. And I just felt this is the beginning of a new me. So I moved to the UK in 2001 because sometimes life takes a turn. And in 2002, I founded United Mind. I had not trained in laughter yoga at the time, but I knew this was something I wanted to bring to life. And I was mentored by my friend in Denmark who actually produced World Laughter Day in January 2000. So lots of things happened then. And that was when it really began. So you're all invited to my anniversary next year, 2nd of April in the UK. Now, one of the things, you know, I didn't do my first training until 2005, but I'd been running corporate workshops and so on from 2002 until 2005, and I loved it. But coming together and training, and I know you know this too, that when we come together and we learn together, it creates that sense of, oh, we're in it together. We are joining our forces, and we know that we can bring this to the world by working smart together. And then 2007, I started teaching leaders, and 2011, that's a picture you see on screen, was when I went to October and started my master training, and that finished in August 2012. And I've been master trainer next year for 10 years, loving it. I love teaching leaders. I love teaching teachers because, you know, as the only teacher, you cannot bring laughter as far as you want to. So it's really important to teach teachers. And this is what I've been doing. I've got lots of celebrations. I'll get to the nitty-bitty grits about chronic conditions in a moment. Next year, 20th anniversary, I've been leading over 1,000 corporate workshops. It may not sound a lot, but it's almost one a week for 20 years. And almost 2,000 leaders is the number now, and almost 200 teachers. And I absolutely love them all. And whether they're with me or not anymore is not the key thing. It's about taking the torch and then moving on with it, just like Madan was saying as well. And the past 2 years, what a celebration to be here and share this with you, because we've all been through some sort of crisis, I imagine, with the 2 years, whether it's business-wise or personally, our mental, physical, emotional health and well-being. Yeah, so much has happened over these 2 years, and I think our community has really kept our sanity and ourselves together in many, many ways. So I think we should laugh. Am I on mute? So here's the really serious stuff I'm going to talk a little bit about. Now, I've had a couple of episodes, and maybe I have had even more than I know, but I've dealt with it through the laughter. And when people ask me, what's the medication you're on for your MS? I say, well, first of all, it's not my MS, that's for sure, because I did not invite it. It came by itself, and it's just somewhere. And the other things, I'm not on any medication. I laugh every day, and that's my stress management technique. And you know, whether you cure yourself or you change the course of direction for your condition, I cannot guarantee that, because we're all on different journeys. But one thing is that even if we're not reversing things, but we may put a little bit of a halt to it, no matter what it is we're going through. And that can give us some time to consider how else can we manage it. Now, the image on screen is of course about multiple sclerosis, MS, and the stats for all of these conditions. These are just a few of the conditions. There are many, many more, but it's some of the major ones: autoimmune conditions, and autoimmune conditions that affect our central nervous system. So here are some of the really chilling numbers. With MS, 2.3 million people around the world live with MS. And when looking at, for example, the US, in the states that are in the northern region, the number of people who get diagnosed with MS double as per the number of people in the southern part of the US. So also the statistics show that the northern hemisphere is where the majority of cases are actually living with MS. So it's one of these conditions. Now, there are so many, and of course it's one of the conditions I know of. I've been sharing laughter with the MS Society, but the other another one is dementia. And I know a lot of people have been sharing laughter with dementia over the past many, many years with laughter yoga. And it's a good thing, you know, for all of these conditions. Laughter yoga makes such a difference because it's about lowering stress. When we lower stress, our body works so much better on all the different systems around the whole being. And if we can impact stress and lower it, I heard someone talk about the cortisol levels when we're stressed, and the cortisol levels really, really go up. And we know about the research from back in 79 by Lee Burke and so on, showing that when endorphins are introduced, we lower the stress chemicals. So this is serious serious stuff. I'm sorry, but it really is serious stuff. There are 55 million people right now who live with dementia, and it's projected to be 78 million in just over 9 years. And by 2050, 130 million people. I think that's really, really chilling. And 60 to 70% of this is Alzheimer's, which is the biggest form of dementia that we experience at the moment. And so, you know, let's change the course of this. We have lots and lots and lots of work to do here. And, you know, it's not just about the Laughter Club. The Laughter Club is fantastic, but it's also about bringing it out there. If you're trained in laughter yoga, you know what to do. You know what to do because you know why you chose it yourself. Now, the other thing is ME, which is also for many known as chronic fatigue syndrome. 20 million people live with ME. It's hugely debilitating, and it's painful for many people, and we can have a huge impact. Now, the reason I mentioned these conditions on this page and the next page is because I've shared laughter with all of them, and it's had a huge impact on the people who've lived with these conditions. Parkinson's disease. Someone said to me, well, the muscles in Parkinson's disease go into spasm and they tighten. And someone said to me, after laughter, he felt like his face loosened up, and he could suddenly show emotions in his face, like smiling and all these things. And I think it's really worth noting, because there are 9.4 million people around the world who live with Parkinson. And it actually, I read up on this, and in Parkinson, what happens is that your nerves disconnect and so on. And when 80% of dopamine is lost, then Parkinson sets in. And dopamine is one of the chemicals or the reactions or responses or whatever we call them that happens when we're laughing. And just bear in mind that 80% of dopamine is produced in the gut, which just shows the connection, doesn't it? So, so again, one of these conditions where we can have a huge impact there. Really, really huge. And endorphins is one of the key factors that we really, really should focus on as well. So one of the things I've read before this was, this is a quote, and I'm going to read it even though it's on the screen in front of you. It appears that children presenting with functional symptoms, including functional tics and tic-like attacks, may be one of the many increases in stress-related difficulties seen in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic. And the reference is on the screen. Now, this relates to the next condition that I'm going to speak about, and it's Tourette's. And Tourette's is on the increase, and it's really, really scary to think about how young people are experiencing this. And it's to do with mental health, it's to do with your physical health as well, but hugely with your autoimmune system. And 1 in 162 children has Tourette's. That's diagnosed, but the studies show that 1 in 360 children have a diagnosis. So it's only 50% that's basically diagnosed with Tourette's, even though there are more young people having it. And it's on the increase, like I say. It's one of the places where, you know, the chemicals we release when we're laughing can counterbalance so many of these conditions. And it is because of lowering stress, because stress chemicals impacts our immunity, our systems, not just the immune system, but all of the systems in our body, big time. Stroke. Oh, I forgot to put in numbers there. There are, what is it? 50 million people who survive strokes per year, and 50 million people who live with disabling conditions. And then there are the other part of people who live with disabling conditions where they have to have constant care. And it's huge, big numbers. And, you know, stroke is also sometimes triggered in when people are stressed. And of course, some of these conditions are also genetically related, but at the end of the day, they're more likely to be triggered and become active when we're stressed, because we suppress the systems that should be working in our body. So moving on to cerebral palsy, because I don't have the numbers for stroke completely, cerebral palsy is also one of these conditions where more and more young people are diagnosed with it, and you know, it's affecting the learning of young people. And if you think about laughter yoga in schools, it's hugely impacting how young people learn and how they can take in the learning and be maybe better at what they're doing in schools, no matter what condition they are living with in their lives. So the last part I wanted to add was diabetes 1, and I know diabetes 2 is, well, that's dependent sometimes on your lifestyle and so on, but diabetes 1 is the one you're born with. And if you look at the numbers, and it's really scary, 400,000 people in the UK, but considering 116 million people in China live with or are born with diabetes 1, and 77 million people in India, it's a big jump. And you know, there's a lot we can do with laughter, and this is maybe why it's so popular in India and in Asia as well, because of how it can really impact and influence your health and well-being in such a big way. I just want to bring it to every household in the world. Because you know, these are conditions that are affecting the whole world. Yeah, the whole world, the economy and so on, which of course, moving forward, it's not just about numbers and figures and money and economy and so on. It's about our spiritual, our emotional, and our physical health and well-being. Because if we cannot be our best, how can we be our best for other people and be of service to other people, as is the mission of what we're doing, isn't it? So serious, this, isn't it? But I do think it's so important, because this is where we have such a big impact. And I want to share a little video with you from MS Life. It's from 2012, and here it goes. Let me know if you can. I should probably do a new share here. Advanced sharing option. Can I share the sound? Can anybody hear me?
I'll let you know, Lotte. Let's hear it play, and then we'll identify
okay.
that for you.
All right. Okay. Hold on. That was the wrong one. Ah, come on. There you go. Okay. Here you go. It hasn't started yet, the sound, by the way.
Okay.
Can you hear it?
Yes, it's a little faint, but it's there.
It's based on the fact that our bodies don't know the difference between real and fake laughter, because we laugh as an exercise form, and with movement and eye contact, it very quickly becomes genuine and real laughter. Okay, next one. I practice laughter yoga every day because it does amazing things to the body. It's very good for the immune system, and that's good news for people who live with MS in their life. By boosting your immune system, you may in fact have a chance of slowing down the process. I can't say for sure, because I don't do diagnosis, and I don't say that laughter is a cure-all. But if it doesn't work on that level, then at least what happens with you when you laugh in laughter yoga, you change your whole way of thinking. My name's Helen Sheriff. I was diagnosed in 2000. Just the laughing yoga.
Okay, so so the reason I love this is because of one person just sharing how it made her feel and so on. And she was not the only person who really felt the difference that laughter made. And it may be that people are there laughing sometimes at us or the whole idea and so on. But the thing is, they are laughing. Yeah. Now I'm going to, because I can see that my time is up, isn't it? And I'm not going to play this. It's just a bit of the same. Yeah? But I just want to say that even after 26 years, and where I am, it's still really pioneering work we're doing. And I love working with the leaders and the teachers over here and around the world. And we do some amazing work together in bringing it to education and healthcare and corporations and charities. I could not do that by myself. And I'm so, so grateful for, you know, all the people who've invested in the training in the UK, in the world, in sharing laughter yoga. And we continue to train and we continue to learn from each other and share with each other. And that's the whole idea of it, because in that way we can become better and better at what we're doing. So no more details from that on that note, but if you wouldn't mind putting on your sound again, because it's just too much talk sometimes, isn't it? Let's do a little bit of laughter. And quite honestly, I think I've overstayed my welcome. So I'll hand it back to you, Tove, and thank you so, so much.
Thank you so much, Lotte. She's a master trainer in the UK, and her give is absolutely massive. And as you've heard, she's dealing with MS in her own body, but she just gives out so much energy.